Have you ever found yourself trapped in the chaos of a narcissist manipulation, constantly second-guessing your reality, walking on eggshells, and wondering if it's all your fault? Well, you're not alone, let me tell you. I've been there myself, guys. As a victim and a survivor of narcissistic abuse myself and the PTSD that follows, I created this channel to help people just like you that are dealing with this type of toxicity right now. And in this video, I'm going to go ahead and break down the 3 rules you need to know when dealing with a psychopath narcissist, especially in romantic relationships. Now, these rules are to protect your peace and safeguard your energy and guide you towards reclaiming control of your life. Remember, the narcissist likes to take control and power away from their victim. As long as they're in control and as long as it seems that they have power over you, you'll never be free. So we want to reclaim our life. We want to take back control and power away from the narcissist so that we can live a happy, joyous, and free life. So if you're ready to take that first step, keep watching. So without further ado, let's jump into the first rule, okay? The first rule of dealing with a psychopath narcissist in your life is do not engage emotionally. Do not engage emotionally. Rule number 1 is simple to say, but it's challenging to master, let me tell you. Do not engage emotionally no matter what, because a narcissist feeds on your emotional reactions. Now, whether it's anger, frustration, even sadness, they don't care. As long as they get an emotional reaction from you, they are winning. Now, when you react, you give the narcissist the power to control the narrative. And if the narcissist controls the narrative, they have control over you, okay? That's what the narcissist tries to establish in any relationship. They want to be like the puppet master of everybody. They triangulate people. They make sure that they're the ones calling the shots. They control everything that's going on, even the way you think. Yeah, narcissists somehow manage to control the way you think, by gaslighting you, by making you question your own reality. And this is where the whole gray rock technique comes in. I don't know if you guys have been watching some of my other videos. I cover the gray rock technique in detail. Now, the idea with the gray rock method is to become as emotionally uninteresting as a gray rock. Okay, so you imagine just a rock down the street that you just picked up, and it's just a rock. It's got no emotion. It's boring to look at. It's just a rock. You pick it up and you toss it into the ocean, right? That's what you want to do. No big reactions, no arguments, no justifications. Remember, you don't have to defend, justify, or explain anything to the narcissist. Okay, this doesn't mean you're letting them win. It means you're protecting your energy. Now, it may seem like the narcissist is winning, especially at first. If you're going to try the gray rock method at the beginning, it's going to feel like they're winning because your gut reaction, at least my gut reaction when I was dealing with a narcissist, was to just yell at, call things out and just, you're not going to, no, that's not how it is. Just get into it emotionally. And it happens more with like toxic friends of mine sometimes and toxic coworkers over the years that I've had to share an office with. And you realize after a certain amount of time, whether they're narcissists or not, they feed on your emotional reaction. So when you employ a new set of strategies and behaviors to combat that, it's going to feel foreign to you. So it's going to seem, remember, not everything is as it seems. So it seems like they're winning. It seems like, especially the first time you try it, things might not go the way you expect or the way you pictured it in your head. But you have to stick the course, stick with the plan, right? Because the narcissist ultimately is just after that. They're trying to get an emotional reaction out of you. And if they don't get it, they're going to try another way to get it from you. They may even challenge you up front and tell you, oh, so you're giving me the silent treatment? Oh, like they'll find a way to flip the script on you, to throw it in your face. And if you haven't practiced the gray rock method, the narcissist is going to find a way to get you to react. So you have to practice. Okay? They're going to come at you. Believe me, they're going to come at you. And, if you're human, everyone has a limit, right? Everyone has a limit. This is what makes psychopaths in particularly so, it seems like they have leverage, right? They have like an unfair advantage because with a psychopath, you can't get them emotionally rattled. And the more you try, the more a fool you look. And they stay calm, cool, and collected. And the narcissist can play that card too, and they'll try to get you. And if this is not getting a rise out of you, they'll try something else. They'll hit you with a low blow, even. Narcissists love to come at you with a low blow and some snide remark. Something is going to get you. There's just something. Remember, the narcissist has been studying you for quite some time now. They know what buttons to push. They know your triggers. Okay? So that's why it's important. If you try it, if it doesn't work, believe me, stick with it. We're not looking for instant results. This is a long-term game. And when I say long-term, I don't mean you're going to stay with them for the rest of your life. God only knows. I'm going to tell you many times during this video that you have to get out of that relationship. But you're not going to be an expert at it first. But just know that over time, the narcissist is going to weaken because they do not like not being able to get what they want. They get supply out of watching you fall apart emotionally. If they're not getting a rise out of you, they're going to get bored and go and do something else. They're going to go and harass somebody else. Believe me, even if they commit to ruining your life and they say that's what they're going to do, when they realize that it's not working, they're going to move on. It might take some time. Who knows how long it's going to take. But for the majority of narcissists, once you start employing the gray rock technique, it doesn't last very long. Only like a deranged psychopath will become super fixated with you. But those aren't the common situations. I talk about them a lot here because they are dangerous situations indeed, but it's not the common situation. But I'll give you an example of how this works. So let's say you're out with friends and your narcissist partner accuses you later of ignoring them or of cheating. Right now, instead of getting defensive and proving that you weren't cheating, that there weren't any girls there, whatever the heck you're gonna come up with, you're just gonna say, "Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way," and that's it. No further explanation. This deprives the narcissist of the emotional payoff that they're seeking. Now, that sounds a bit cold, doesn't it? That sounds like you're not taking their feelings into account. If a non-narcissistic person, right? If a healthy person told you that they felt that maybe you were being disloyal, or they felt that you were ignoring them, or that you came home too late and they were worried and they wanted to spend time with you, if they come at you with that and you tell them, "Oh, I'm sorry, you feel that way," that comes off very dismissive. Okay, sometimes that can be labeled as gaslighting too, because you're not taking that person's feelings into consideration and you're making them feel bad for even feeling that way. So it's like, it's very standoffish. But we're doing this back to the narcissist. We're doing this back to our abuser. Remember, they don't care about our feelings. They don't care about us. They have no ability to actually even love anything or anyone except themselves. So do not feel bad for being so cold. That's the point of the gray rock method. It's to be as cold and as boring as a gray rock. And here's another example. Let's say you're discussing your finances and they start blaming you for overspending, even if it's not true, and it's probably not true. If it's coming out of the narcissist's mouth, it's not true. But instead of arguing, you might respond, "I see your point. Let's discuss it later." Now, you stay neutral in that situation, which takes the wind out of their sails. The narcissist wants to argue right away. They want to fight right away. And what you're doing is like you're acknowledging what they said, but we're gonna file that right now. Okay? We're gonna get into it a little bit later. And that's what you say. So you want to stay neutral. Now, I know it's tempting to defend yourself, but remember, narcissists don't care about fairness. They don't play by your rules. They only care about control. So when you're being neutral, neutrality in and of itself frustrates them. And it helps you stay grounded, right? It helps you stay grounded. So try that out. Have you guys ever been neutral with your narcissist or with a toxic person? Maybe a family member that has been annoying you, that every time you go home for the holidays, they start criticizing you and they start asking you condescending questions or snide remark, backhanded compliments. Have you guys ever tried being neutral with those people? How did it go? I know the holidays are coming up, and a lot of my clients in my coaching program are freaking out that they have to go home for the holidays now, or that they have to go to the in-laws or whatnot. Have you guys tried that? Maybe you didn't know it was called the gray rock technique, but it's just being neutral. Let me know how that worked out in the comments below if you have any experiences in doing that. I'd love to hear how it worked out for you. Now, let's jump into the second rule of dealing with a psychopath or a narcissist in your life, especially if they're a romantic partner or a spouse. So what you want to do, and I know we hear this time and time again, is to set firm boundaries. And I know some people are rolling your eyes, and just the word boundaries can be triggering to some people, but it's not. It's not. Boundaries are your lifeline when dealing with a narcissist. But here's the thing. They're only going to work if you enforce them. Narcissists will push against those boundaries. They're going to push against every limit you set because their goal, once again, is to control you. So if you set a weak boundary, if you don't back it up, they're just going to cross it. And what are you going to do? You're going to take a step back and you're going to set another boundary. The narcissist is going to cross your boundary, right? You're going to step back and then set another one and another one and another one. And by the time you're done, your back is against the wall and the narcissist is right up on you. And they own you. They'll own you. You got to work the program. You got to work the techniques. You got to do the work, okay? You have to set the boundaries. You have to stand by them. You have to enforce your boundaries, or they're not boundaries. They're just guidelines. So here's an example. Imagine the narcissist. You've asked your narcissist not to criticize you in front of people, right? Not in front of your friends, but they do it anyway because, of course, they're going to do it anyway. Now, after you calmly say, I need you to respect me in public. If this continues, I'm not going to attend any social gathering with you anymore. Again, I know that sounds harsh. I know that sounds like you're talking to a child. And believe me, a lot of narcissists are children in adult bodies, but that's the way you got to do it. When they test you again, and believe me, they will, you follow through by skipping the next event. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You say what you're going to do if they do something, and when they do it, you do exactly what you said you were going to do. It's so simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, if people just followed through on what they said they were going to do, we would probably be living in utopia right now. And maybe that's a little extreme because some people say they're going to do some bad things, and it's a good thing that they don't do the bad things that they say that they're going to do. But I'm talking about when you say you're going to do something good for yourself and you actually follow through, it's a great feeling. You know, it's a great feeling. But I'll give you another example. So let's say the narcissist is constantly blowing up your phone during work hours, despite you telling him not to do it because you're at work. So a firm boundary would be, hey, if you call me during work hours, I'm not going to answer the phone. And then stick to it. So even if they leave you 100, if you see 100 missed calls or texts, don't cave. Don't do it. When you get out of work, then you can call them back. So even if, you got to enforce these boundaries. Enforcing them teaches them that you're serious. even if it triggers their anger. And I know a lot of us are walking on eggshells because we're afraid of seeing that angry narcissistic tantrum. But remember, we're not trying to make the relationship with the narcissist work. We're trying to deal with an abusive, psychopathic narcissist. We're dealing with it until we're out of the relationship. We're not these rules, these 3 rules that we're talking about here today are not going to fix your marriage if you're married to a narcissist or a psychopath. This is just what's going to help you preserve your energy, your mental health, your mental well-being. It's going to make you a lot stronger. You're going to get a lot more courage by doing these things, right? And it's going to possibly mitigate the abuse in a significant way, depending on what tier of a narcissist you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a highly dangerous psychopathic narcissist, you may need to get law enforcement involved long ago. But there are tiers to these things, and the minute you start controlling the playing field, things start getting easier for you. Boundaries are about protecting your emotional health. Like I said already, just not controlling their behavior. Don't expect the narcissist just not going to call you when you tell them not to do it. They're going to call you 100 times to prove that you can't tell them what to do. And if the narcissist has ODD, oppositional defiance disorder, oh boy, God forbid you tell them what not to do, because that's exactly what they're going to do. They're like sociopaths. You tell them not to do this because there's a consequence, and that's exactly what they do. And they do it like 50 times more. It's a disorder. It's just one of the many disorders we cover here on the channel. But just remember, you're not doing this to get them to change. You're doing this to set your boundary, okay? And to stand by it and enforce it. That's why we're doing this, okay? Now, let me know in the comments below what's one boundary that you guys have set with a narcissist that they just keep on crossing no matter how much you've told them. Share your story in the comments, because you never know. Your experience might be exactly what someone in the community right now is going through. And they can take what you said and apply it tonight, and they just might be able to sleep tonight. So let me know what boundary have you guys set. And I know it gets ridiculous. I know when you set it, no matter what it is, I know because I work with a lot of survivors in my coaching program, and they tell me when they start setting the boundaries, the narcissist just spazzes out, and they just start. That's when you realize that they are overgrown children. That's when you realize, because when they start doing dumb things like that. There's a video that I made, and you can see that right here. There's a video I made about this clown that was harassing me and a lot of the survivors here in the community. And it's like, I told him to stop, and he didn't get the message. And instead, what he said was that he was going to create 15 different YouTube accounts and continue harassing me and everybody here, and that I will never get rid of him. Well, haven't heard from him in 5 days because I just blocked every account. My moderators blocked the first 3 accounts. And it's like, you're not going to get a reaction out of us. You're not going to ruin our day. You can type away as much. You can spend the whole day creating fake YouTube accounts to spam the comments as much as you want. And your comments are not going to get posted. No matter what, they will never get posted. The minute there's any type of harassment, the minute we know is you, it gets blocked. It's that simple. You can spend the rest of your life doing that like a fool, or you can move on with your life. But nothing's going to change. And I'm not losing sleep over it. So if you want to get a laugh, because I read the comments on the video, click on that link right there so you could check it out and have a laugh for yourself too. Anyway, moving right along, let's get to rule number 3. This is my favorite rule. Now, I'll tell you why it's my favorite. First of all, it's prioritizing your exit strategy. Why is it my favorite rule? See, you would think the boundaries would be the one, because I just love telling people, hey, if you do this, this happens, or if you don't do this, this happens, and following through. I love that, and I love when things like that are with me. It just helps me. It's like a military thing, right? It's like it helps you keep your ducks in a row and be accountable. You do this, this happens, and if you mess up, Then you suffer the consequences and you learn your lesson. It's like, oh, wow, okay, that's how it's going to be. Got it. And then you straighten yourself out. So you would think that would be my favorite. But when you start prioritizing and planning your exit strategy, it's like you finally start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I remember once I made up my mind, that's it, that relationship was over and that I wasn't going to have to experience that anymore. I wasn't going to have to deal with that abuse anymore. That was going to end. I started planning how I was going to break up and what I was going to say. And I started envisioning myself with a better girl and just a better quality of life. I started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, this rule is the hardest, but it's the most crucial. You have to prioritize your exit strategy, guys. Okay, most relationships with narcissists, I would say all relationships with narcissists don't improve. They deteriorate. The longer you stay, the more you lose of yourself. Okay, and you will lose yourself. You won't even know who you are at some point. And that's why you start turning to the narcissist for answers. The very same person that put you in that hell is the person that you're asking to show you the way out. You've lost yourself. You have to get out of that relationship. You know, I've coached a lot of survivors in my program about this, and there was this particular one whose narcissistic partner controlled all the finances. Okay. And we worked for a while and we developed a plan. They opened a separate bank account in secret. They started saving small amounts of money here and there, like grocery money. They started building a little network with trusted friends. They were in a 12-step program. They started, they had some allies and some people that had their back. And, over time, they gathered the resources to leave safely. I'm not going to get into too much of the details, but yeah, they ended up getting another little place. They started moving their stuff little by little so the narcissists wouldn't notice. And then by the time they were gone, they were gone. By the time they were gone, it's like, wow, you did it. And you didn't think you could do it because you were so stuck in that routine, in that deadly, vicious cycle of a routine with a narcissist. Your brain couldn't even fathom that there was a better way. But there always is a better way. Just not having the narcissist in your life automatically makes your life better. That was another client that was, or they felt that they were trapped because they shared a lease. Has that ever happened to you guys? So we worked together. We found some alternative housing for them, and they started documenting all the instances of verbal abuse. And that strengthened their case for breaking the lease legally. So a lot of times when you're dealing with these disordered demons, you're gonna have to get into like the court system at some point. Hopefully not with any domestic abuse type of thing, even though that is common, that does happen. But sometimes you're going to have to get into some sort of legal battle. And it could be with your children for getting custody of the kids and the house, for example, all those things. It's going to happen. And if you're afraid of that, then you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life, because that means you're going to stay in that toxic, doomed relationship that's never going to improve. So you might as well go through the temporary hardships of doing what you got to do with the court system to break from your lease, to whatever you got to do with the house or with the kids. You're going to have to do it. But the key is to start small. You don't have to do everything at once. It becomes so overwhelming to think about it. But baby steps. As long as you're doing something every day, you're moving forward. You don't have to leave tomorrow, right? You don't have to leave tomorrow, but every step that you take, whether it's saving money, building a new support system, seeking legal advice. Sometimes I tell some of my clients, look, your homework for tonight, okay, is to call, or not tonight, but like tomorrow morning, right? Your homework is to call 10 different attorneys. Oh, but why 10? You're going to call 10 different attorneys because I want you to get comfortable picking up the phone and telling your story, right? And finding the right person, because just because you make that one phone call, that may not be the best attorney for you. Try to find an attorney that's dealt with narcissists before and tell them, look, I'm dealing with a clinically diagnosed psychopath narcissist. Just tell them that. Have you ever had any experience with that? And when you find one that does, then they're like, oh, that's what I'm dealing with. Okay, got it. This is what we're going to do. Blah, 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 blah. It just brings you closer to freedom. But you have to do something to move forward. So, if you're working on an exit plan, even if you feel stuck, leave a comment. Let me know the situation that you're going through right now. We would love to help you as a community to brainstorm your next steps. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. I do have a private one-on-one coaching program. It's here to guide you through every stage of this journey, from planning your escape to rebuilding your confidence again. So there's a link below in the description, and it's flashing right here if you'd like to get more information on that. So let's recap real quick. So the 3 rules for dealing with a narcissist. First, do not engage emotionally. Remember, neutrality is your shield. Second, set and enforce your boundaries. They're your line in the sand. They only work if you stand firm. Remember that. You have to enforce your boundaries. And finally, number 3 is prioritize your exit strategy. Freedom is the goal, guys. Every small step counts. Okay? Every small step counts. So make sure you're moving in the right direction. You're one foot in front of the other. One step, next step, next step. Baby step it if you have to. Get 1% better every day. 0.5% better. 0.3% better. Every day we're getting better. We're moving forward. We're moving forward. Okay? That's how you're going to end up winning. That's how you're going to end up winning. Now, before you go, I want to invite you to watch another important video. This one may sound silly, but it's on the 5 dumb things that we do when under the spell of a narcissist. It's linked right here at the top. In that video, I dive into the harmful decisions that we make when we're caught in the narcissist web. These are decisions that drain our life energy and keep us stuck. Trust me, you don't want to miss that video. So thanks for watching to the very end, guys. If you got some value out of the video, please share the video and drop a like so that the YouTube algorithm can show it to other survivors that need to watch this type of content. Again, don't forget to check out the official merch store. Every shirt, hoodie, and coffee mug is designed to remind you of your strength and resilience, so you can rock that gear proudly. You've earned it. And if you're ready to take your healing journey to the next level, reach out to me about my private one-on-one coaching program. Together, we'll create a personalized roadmap to help you move forward and thrive. All right? So thanks for watching, guys. My name is Kita. This is Psychopath Exposure. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening. Peace out.